So I'm looking at this place where I'm standing, and I saw this in a dream before. It was when I looked around. So, taking a country walk, and I look around the corner of a path. And all of a sudden, I saw that segment, pretty much what I was looking at, to about like 98.8% of what reality rendered right there. I saw that in a dream, like, how many years ago was that? Maybe 4 or 5 years ago? It was only a segment of what I saw in my dream, but I saw that segment in reality. I got the same feeling too. Then I realized, whoa, you're actually in a dream right now. The other thing is that I was imagining that it would be different here than it is now. So you're dreaming as you go. Actually, the thing is, the mind's eye and the divine inspired, right, holy, sacred, and pure, and clean and fit, inspired dreaming or daydreaming, visualizing, imagining mechanism that we all have. This thing is running during the daytime and during the nighttime. And it's like the imagination. If we can awaken and have a sharp, present, and clear, masterful focus of that right here and right now, and then start to order our thoughts aright, it's as if you've awakened in the dream of real life, and you are guiding and positively determining the complete and total thing. There are different levels to this, and what I'm saying is true. I'm talking about how with discipline of the mind, one can actually guide how one is imagining, dreaming, or daydreaming, visualizing, and then, thinking about what the mind's eye is producing on an ongoing basis that leads to what we think about, talk about, say, speak, and actually do, and even how we look at reality and how reality actually manifests it to us. This is true. There is a saying, and the saying is correct. It says, for as how we think of it right now is how it is to us. That's true. What's interesting is that I had a different imagination of how this would be. Right. So then I realized, hold on a second. Do you realize that you're living in a dream, actually? Like, how many of us actually realize that I'm not talking about dreaming when you're dreaming at night and laying in bed with clean dreams. Instead, I'm talking about how we're actually dreaming the same mechanism of the way that we sort of visualize things and they are manifest, or actually how we visualize things and how they we have them on the mind's eye and the imagination. We visualize and see things imaginatively. These things actually go on. And it's when you awaken in a dream. It's the same thing as when you are you're focused and you're clearly presently, sharply aware right now. And so it's as if you've ultimately awakened now. Right. It's almost like you've completely awakened now. Now we're ultimately awakened. Like totally enlightened. Okay? And that being the case, what we're actually seeing is how there's a complete, total new horizon and sort of a good world of opportunities of what can happen in our life. So, what I'm talking about is that new horizons, right? An entire universal index of new possibilities becomes real because of this expansion in perspective and gaining a higher and a better perspective. The problem is when you don't have a grip on this process of visualizing, imagining, and thinking and sort of dreaming about or daydreaming about things. And then it can get to be, it's like it either goes in the direction of generally miraculous, eventually miraculous, or the opposite. But see, that's the exact thing though, is that you have to awaken right now. Right? I'm completely, totally sharp, and I'm focused right here, right now. Right? Bam. This is it. This is, and I have an overview, like I'm watching myself, watching what I'm thinking, and I'm monitoring and mastering and commandeering and actually safe guiding and safeguarding and determining, right? I was going to say controlling, yet the word is commandeering and mastering this mechanism of how creation actually works, starting from within the mind's eye to the imagination, that area, then the thoughts, talking about it, speaking about it, doing it, and it actually is a certain way, right? Because we all have this thing where we assume things. I think those are actually magic mushrooms right there. And I'm not going to eat those. So look, you see this? I think those are actually magic mushrooms right there. I could, if they really were magic mushrooms, I could actually eat those, but I'm not going to, because it's not an attractive source of food for us. Yet, I wonder if they are magic mushrooms, and I wonder what would happen if I did eat them. From what I understand, it can be very intense. But see, okay, what I was saying is that the thing about how reality and how life actually is for us, it's gradually produced in the mind's eye and in the visualization and even in the mechanism of, I wonder if those are magic mushrooms. I've got enough magic automatically by basic programming. I don't need magic mushrooms, right? But I'm just thinking about it because, you hear so much interesting things about it, but the real magic is already happening within you. In fact, what is that? It's a toxin, isn't it? So it's like, you realize how the real magic and the real interesting thing and the real magical and mystical experience of life is actually already there with you to begin with. Now, of course, there are certain plants that help and that make this all work a lot better, namely the kosher cannabis plant, in very safe and moderate amounts of either drinking, smoking, inhaling aromatherapy or oil or whatever. Very moderately, that makes it all work magnificently. It's interesting here. We've got these. There happens to be mushrooms out here, and I'm thinking, if that really is a magic mushroom over there, what if I ate that? What would it be like? I think there's another one right here, actually. They're said to be gold colored. They show up in the autumn season near cow pies. That's exactly what's up there. See, I don't need that because I already have everything. Everything is already ideal as it is, right? I can see even clearer right now than I probably could if I had some, eaten some mushrooms. Like, I wouldn't bother with those because it's not an attractive food source either. They're better things to eat. They're fresher, more, they're fresher, livelier, more interesting plants and sources of food than fungus, okay? And that's something that, I don't know, maybe people become enlightened through some of those, but I don't think it's a must at all. I don't think it's necessary because, think about it, it's almost like, it's called psilocybin, right? Psilocybin. So it's said to be a neurotoxin, actually, if I'm correct. And if people, I remember talking to a man once, a long time ago in a city in Europe, and he said some people were living on an island in Brazil, and they went there and they ate magic mushrooms for like a month straight. And they were so So they were eating these magic mushrooms every day for so long that they literally were hallucinating and in a state of intoxication for like for almost a month or something. And they also started getting, their skin also started reacting and stuff. So it can't be healthy, ultimately speaking. There are mushrooms that are used for healing, but in moderate amounts. Okay, nonetheless, never mind all that. But it is kind of interesting because my dad told me about this. So never mind about the magic mushrooms. We don't need those. And besides, listen, here's another thing. There's a massive distractive sort of elucidatory propaganda campaign going on where now they're talking about using mushrooms in psychotherapy or whatever instead of cannabis. Cannabis is the ultimate mother of all healing plants. That's all you need. Cannabis is all you need. Whether it's as a tea or a smoking or aromatherapy, terpene medicine is the oldest form of medicine there is. Why choose mushrooms if you can have a healthy little green tree of a plant that works miracles for you, that heals people miraculously, that has no side effects? Mushrooms, I've heard people have gone insane from that and gotten sick. But cannabis, nobody's ever died from that. No. Moreover, people have lived really good.